Okay, so let's get started. Any questions so far on what we have done? Okay, what have we done so far? We have started talking about um, for loops, isn't it? We said that we will talk about for loops. We did one example yesterday where we went through a loop and performed sum and average of 5 subjects, right? Okay. So we'll develop few small applications, small applications using for loop, and then we will start our discussion on while loop as well. Okay, so let's get started. So let's say you want to print a star, right? How do you print a star? You simply say print star, correct? You simply say print star. Now we will put a loop. We'll put a loop for I in range. Okay. Now what I'll do is I will define a variable n, let's say n equal to 5, and okay, we'll try to print star 5 times. So I'm going to say for I in range n. For I in range n. Okay. And this I'm going to push it inside. So now when you run it, you get 5 stars like this. Okay, in a line. But let's say I want to print these stars in a single line. So if I have to print in a single line, I have to use end command, isn't it? And I have to say end equal to space so that all the stars get printed in same line. Okay. Now let's say I want to print this pattern 5 more times. That means I want to print something like this. I want to print 5 stars, another 5 stars, more 5, more 5, more 5. Let's want to print in this pattern. So this whole thing prints one row, right? So if I repeat this 5 times, I should get 5 rows, correct? So I will put another loop for j in range, okay, n, okay, and these two statements, I'll put it inside. That means this is going to print. So I, okay, variable I is here to print the stars, correct? And j is going to change the row, right? Next row, next row, next row. So this is for counting the rows. First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. But actual printing is done by I loop, correct? Now let's run it and see what happens. It printed in same line. Right? Yesterday, somebody had a question. Why should we print blank print, right? Why should I have a blank print? This is why you should have a blank print. What happens since we have said end equal to blank, okay, it keeps on printing in same line. So after printing a row, after printing 5 stars, before you print the next set of stars, right? Before you go to next row, you should change the row, isn't it? So now when I run it, you get 5 stars in this pattern, right? This is what we wanted, isn't it? Okay, so we have got this. Okay, any questions so far? Now, let's say we will print a different pattern. Okay, so I want to print Z. I want to print Z. How do you print Z? So let's say, you have 5 stars, then you, instead of 5, okay, you print something like this, right? Right? So, okay, let's look at a pattern. We have to look at pattern. So if I do this, then I'll have to print more Z. Okay, more stars, correct? How many stars? Let's see. Okay, now this is not good. So what we'll do is maybe 1 space star. Okay, I'm trying to create some kind of pattern, okay? So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay, I'll print a pattern here. So here you get Z. Okay, like this. So what we have here is this is your first row and this is your last row. Okay, and between first row and last row, we need to print space as well as star. Now you see, when you're printing space as well as star, the star count is only 1. Okay, star count is only 1, but space count is decreasing by 1. Right? So maybe earlier I'm giving 4 star. Okay, now I'm giving only 3 star, then only 2 star, then only, sorry, not star, so space. Okay, so let's try to do this. So what I'm doing is for J will remain 5. Okay, so number of rows that you have will remain 5. Perfect. And when it is first row and last row, how do you know it is first row or last row? When J value is 0 or J value is n minus 1, then we don't need to print stars. We don't we don't need to print space. We have to print only stars, right? So when I'm saying is, okay, for J, or if we should use if J equal to 0 or, correct, this is our relational plus logical operator. If J equal to 0 or J equal to n minus 1, that means it is first row and last row. Then you print the series of stars. So now when I run this, okay, oops, what I'll do is I'm going to print, okay, Z pattern so that, it is different from the previous one. Okay, so this is when J equal to 0 and J equal to 1. But what if J is between 0 and n minus 1? So I'm going to say else. Else what? We need to print space as well as star. How many spaces? Spaces should be, so if it is first case, if it is n, second row, the number of spaces should be n minus 1, right? So I'm going to say else. Else means when J is not 0 or not n minus 1. Print space. But how many times? For I in range, okay, first row. So this is your second row, right? So if you have 5 spaces, 5 minus 1. That means if you have n spaces, n minus j. J is keeping track of the row. So j minus 1 space. Okay. Once you are done, and again, this again should not have space, right? So we will say this. Okay, once you are done with the printing, then print star. Okay, let's see if this works. See, don't, you will not get these patterns, okay, right for the first time. You have to try, see the output, okay, then you make adjustment. Now you see here, okay, star is printing exactly here. Probably we could have reduced one space, right? And this would also come towards the left. So instead of saying just n minus j, I'll say n minus j minus 1. I need to reduce more spaces. Okay, so let's see if I do minus 1, then what happens? Now you see, perfect J pattern is drawn. Okay, so when you're doing something, okay, this is how you actually approach a business problem. Okay, first, when you look at the problem, try to figure out, is there a pattern to it? Is there a pattern to it? Okay, figure out that pattern, and then you repeat that pattern. Pattern can be repeated, right? Now, if you go and change n to 10, also this should work. See, it is working, isn't it? Yes or no? Okay, so first you have to look at the pattern. Okay, get the pattern from the problem, and then repeat the pattern. Okay, so what I have done, request to explain again, I will do that. Okay, so what we are doing here is, we are printing all the stars, and there are two patterns here. All the stars, and that is the first pattern. First pattern is print all the stars, something like this only, right? Something like this. That's the first pattern, but this is there only in the first and the last row. In between rows, it should be only one star. That's the pattern. First, find the pattern I said. So what is the pattern here? First and last row stars. And in between, it is single star. Not only single star, there are spaces here. See, when space is on the right side, we don't have to worry about. Because right side, when you don't put anything, it is anyway going to be blank space. But on the left side, if spaces are there, you have to think about it, right? You cannot let it go. Okay. So two set of pattern I said. First set of pattern is something like this, where you are printing full stars, which is first row and last row. So that's why I'm saying, okay, if j equal to 0 or j equal to n minus 1, range will generate up to n minus 1, isn't it? So n minus 1 is your last row. J equal to 0 is your first row. J equal to n minus 1 is your last row. I want for it to be the last row, the value has to be n minus 1. So if j equal to n minus 1, that means we are at the last row. So whether you are at the first row or the last row, you have to print the entire pattern, right? So this comes from this logic. We are printing the star pattern. But if it is not j or 0 or the last row, then we need to print spaces, and at the end print star. So how many spaces we have to print? If you have 5 rows here, you have to print 5 minus 1, right? So that's why you say n minus j, okay, minus 1. Because if there are n, okay, actually you are doing n minus 1 only, right? So that's why n minus 1 and minus j, because every row you have to decrease 1 space. Every row as you go, you have to decrease. Here you have 4 spaces, then 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. So to reduce that by 1, we are using j, because j is going to increase by 1. J is 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, up to 4. And so that's why to reduce that 1, I'm taking the help of j. If it is first row, n minus 0, 0. Second row, n minus 1. Third row, n minus 2, right? And this is how I ended up getting this pattern, right? This pattern is so when you say repetition, right? This is what it means. I can take n equal to anything. I can give n equal to 100. I can give n equal to 7. It should work. Okay. So see, it worked, right? you can write then Z, then you can write A, B, C, D. That's your assignment. Try to print different patterns. Did you get it? Let me know if you have any questions here. All good? Okay. We'll do one more pattern, okay, where let's say, okay, simple pattern maybe. So maybe I'll take this one. And so when I take this one, we'll take the code also. So we'll modify the same code. Now I'll print like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, right? So see here. Here also we have 5 rows, correct? So number of rows should be 5 only. So your J will not change because J is keeping track of rows, right? So J will not change. Which command which actually printing? The inner loop is printing, I loop is printing. So this is what we need to change, right? Now to change this, okay, you have for I in range n, correct? And so here I'm printing 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, 5, 5. N will remain 5, constant. I have to make it variable. So I'll say J. J is changing, so I'll say J. But when I take J, the first row, how many stars will get? We'll get 0 stars. Because J value in the first time will be 0. Second time it's going to be 1. Third time it's going to be 2. So what I'll do, I will say J plus 1. So that in the first row itself, J value is 1. So J now will be 0 plus 1. In the second time, second loop, it will be 1 plus 1. Okay. Then it will be 2 plus 1. Now when you start printing the stars, you get this pattern, right? 7. Now let's say, okay, this is right angle triangle, isn't it? I want to make it, let's say, equilateral triangle. I make this as a equilateral triangle. So I'll go here, gives, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Something like this. Now this pattern is similar to your Z pattern. You have to print same star, same thing. But before you print star, we need to print spaces also. Because I told you spaces are on the left side. So if spaces are on the left side, there's no excuse for you. You will have to print the spaces. We have to think of space. We cannot not think of space. We cannot not think of space. We have to think of space. So I'm going to use another variable, let's say K. Okay. And here your star is J plus 1, but spaces is going to be 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So it is going to be N minus J minus 1. That's how you'll end up getting 4. 5 minus 0 minus 1, 4. Okay. So here it should be space only. Now let's see if it works. Okay. No, it did not work because we give extra space. So now this is actually shifted towards right side. Why? Because see, we are giving 2 spaces. So we counted 4 blank, but we gave 8 blank spaces. So let me remove this blank space from end. This is also a pattern, right? If you want this pattern, great. But we're not interested in this pattern. So now you see, you got an equilateral triangle here. Okay. So as I said, don't expect to get the right answer in the first attempt itself. Think before you do on paper. Okay. Then you start, you see the output. If output is not you want, think why this is the output. Where should I change it? Go back and change it. Okay. Nobody's life is at stake here. Okay. So, you can take your time and you can practice and get the final solution that you want. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Perfect. Okay. Tushita, I have explained 3 times. Okay. Okay. So I hope you have got it. And I think recording will be shared. So you can go through the recording and ask me tomorrow if you have questions. Okay. And I told you last time also, yesterday also, repeat it. I'm not a tape recorder that I'm going to repeat it. You ask me what you did not get. Yes or no? Don't say repeat it. So easy to say repeat it. You don't hear, you don't listen to me, but you say repeat it. So you expect me to repeat whatever I said. No. You ask me specific questions. Specific question answer only I'll give you. Yes. Thank you, Toshita, for understanding. Okay. So this is how you can end up getting different patterns. So what I said, first figure out the repeatability part. Because we are using loop, so loop will repeat something. So you have to find the repeatability, the pattern, right? So this is as simple as saying, okay, if I give you numbers, let's say 3, 6, 9, 12. What is next number then? The next number would be what? Nobody knows the answer? It is a difficult question. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Kushal and Toshita. Yes. It is 15. How do you get 15? You find the pattern and then continue the pattern. This is what we are doing. You find the pattern. Oh, okay. 5 spaces, then 1. 4 spaces, then 2. 3 spaces, then 3. Okay, 2 spaces and 4. So it is increasing. The spaces are increasing and stars are, spaces are decreasing and stars are increasing. Okay. Everybody with me? Shall we move to next section? Okay. Next, we'll talk about while loop. Okay. What is a while loop? I'm going to move this to our database. Okay. So today is our 5th day, right? Okay. And I'm going to save this here. Okay. Now let's come back to programming. Okay. So next example here is of while loop. Okay. How to use while loop for your program. While loop is also used for repetition. But difference between for loop and while loop is, for loop, you know exactly how many times to run. 5 times, 10 times. But in okay, in while loop, we don't know how many times to run. Okay. 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 Then how do you know how to repeat? So it is also based on condition. Okay. So for example, okay, if I have to give you direction, let's say, okay, if I have to give you direction, I tell you, keep walking for 1 kilometer or keep driving for 5 kilometers. You'll find your university. Let's say you're going to some university or some government building. Okay. So keep going the direction for exactly 500 meters, 1 kilometer, 5 kilometer. So see here, I know exact distance. Okay. I know that that building, that destination is exactly 5 kilometers. So I'll say exact 5 kilometers. So when I tell you 5 kilometers, what do? You will look at your, maybe the kilometer thing. If you're walking, probably in your watch, and you will keep walking. You will not look left, right. You'll keep driving or walking for that many kilometers, and then you will turn to your left or right to see the building. Correct? If let's say if I tell you 5 kilometers and building was at 4.5 kilometers, you will miss it because I told you 5. So your focus is not what is coming on my left and right. Your focus is to measure the distance. This is what happens. Okay. When we're doing the first pattern, right? When we were doing our Z pattern, right? In Z pattern, I gave n minus Z. But we achieved in n minus Z minus 1 attempt only. But I gave extra. So we got different pattern. We did not get that pattern. It's not like, oh, wait, university has come, you stop. No, because I told you 5, so you will go up to 5 kilometers without looking left, right. So the problem here is that you should know in for loop, problem is that you should know exactly the number of times that you have to run. If that answer is getting before or after the number of iteration, you are not going to get it right. If you're getting the answer before the iteration, number of iteration, let's say number of iteration is 5, but you get answer in 4 kilometers only. No, still you will drive up to 5. But let's say your university is at 5.1. Also, you will not go because you said 5, so we'll stop at 5 only. No, I'm not going ahead. Okay. So you need to know exactly, okay, your answer, if it is little ahead or little behind, you'll have to come back and change it and rerun the program. In while, same example, I can tell you how, what a while means. So I'll tell you, keep walking the direction till you see a big red building on your left side. So here, I didn't tell you how many kilometers. I tell you, keep walking till you see. That's the condition. So what you will do, you will take one step and see left. Even if it is after 50 kilometers also, you will take a step, look left. Take another step, look left. Take one more step, look left. Or you will see for the red building, no red building. Again, take one more step, look left. Take one more step, look left. So you are taking different steps. I didn't tell you how many steps to take, isn't it? You're taking one by one step and looking to the left to see if you find the red building or not. And if you find the red building, you stop there, right? Because that's what I said, red big building on the left side. You see a red big building on the left side, you stop. Okay. So here the answer could be after one step also, or it could be after 10,000 steps also. Correct? That's when we use while loop. Okay. Now, let's say, okay, the building color is blue. Okay, but I tell you red. What happens? Actual color is blue. Okay, the office is blue building, but I'll tell you, keep walking till you see red building. What happens? Okay, if there is a blue building on your left, you will reach that building. If there is a a red building somewhere, so you will reach wrong location. Your answer will be wrong. Or if there is no such building, you'll get into infinite loop. So even though you would have crossed the blue building, but since the blue building is not what I told you red building, you're looking for red building. So if I don't give correct condition, you will go beyond. You will not stop at the correct location. You will go beyond. Did you understand what I'm saying? So in while loop, giving right condition is important. Otherwise, you will end up getting into infinite loop. Okay. So let's see this example here. Now, let's say I give, I want to print, let's say 1 to 10. I want to print from 1 to 10. So I say j equal to 1. Or let's do 3, 6, 9 example itself, which I asked you, right? So j equal to 3. And I want to print up to j. So while j less than, let's say, 30. So I want to print till j is less than 30. So see, this is what I meant while condition. For loop, for counter, in whatever, right? So we have done range. Later we'll see that you can use other things also. You can use strings as well as list, other things also. So we were doing for j or for I in range. Everything was different. Here it is while, because we are doing while loop. And while loop, we don't say how many times. You say till j is less than 30. That's my condition. Till j less than 30, keep doing it. Keep doing what? Print j. So I'm printing j. Now I will run it. What happens? See, this is what I said. If you do not give condition properly, it will go on. I'm saying keep going till j, okay, is less than 30. Okay, so j is 3. It prints j, 3 goes up, checks the condition. 3 is less than 30. Yes. 3 is less than 30, comes back, prints again. Goes up. 3 is less than 30. Yes. Prints j, goes up. So it becomes an infinite loop. You have not given the correct condition. So what should we do is, after printing j, you have to say j equal to j plus 3. So now j is 3, it prints 3 in the first step. Second step, j becomes 3 plus 3, 6. Prints 6. Next step, 6 plus 3, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. Plus 3, 15. Plus 3, 18. So on. Plus 27. 27 plus 3, 30. 30 is 30 less than 30? No. 30 is not less than 30. The loop will break. Okay. So you will have only value till 27. So it starts from 3, 6, 9. 27, it prints 27. Comes here, j is 30, goes up. Is 30 less than 30? No. False. So you break the loop. Okay. If I say equal to, so is 30 equal to 30? Yes, 30 is equal to 30. Then, okay, you will get 30. Okay. So you end up getting 30 up to 30. So here, this condition is very important. Okay. Okay. What do we do? Let's play a game. Let's develop a game. Okay. I call it as, okay, number guessing game. Let's build it. We build a number guessing game. So let's say, okay, your number is 35. Okay. And I want, so this is number. Okay. So I'll say number guessing game, computer versus human. So computer will think of a number And as a human being, we have to guess it. So num equal to 30, right? Now let's guess it. So I'll say guess equal to int of input. Okay. Guess the number. Okay. Now when you guess the number and you get it right, so I'll print if guess equal to num, we'll say print congratulations. You guessed it correctly. Correct? Otherwise, we'll say else, sorry, incorrect answer. Okay, simple example. Now let's run it. Okay, so guess the number. I'll say 40. Incorrect, right? Okay, you run it. I say 35. Okay, correct. We guessed it right. Now let's say we'll repeat it. Okay, till you get it right. Till you get it right. Now here, see, we don't know how many times, okay, user will take. Maybe sometimes we can guess this right in first attempt. Sometimes we might take 50 attempts, 100 attempts to guess it, right? So you don't know how many times. So here, definitely for is not a good example. Instead, we will use while. Now, while, okay, so guessing should be inside the loop, right? So I'll say while. And I'll put this inside while. Now, inside, so while what condition? While what condition? Now, for while to give a condition, okay, it is again a problem because we have to create a new variable like 0, right? Say, we'll say 0. Found equal to 0. And I'll say while found equal to 0. So continue till found equal to 0. And then I'll say when you get it right, then found equal to 1. This is one way to break the loop. So this extra found variable I created only to keep track of the condition, right? So guess the number, 20, incorrect, 90, incorrect, 40, incorrect, 30, incorrect, 35. So now it stopped because here, you know, the found becomes 1. Now it goes up and found is not 0, so stops. Otherwise, what happens? Even after you get it correct also, it will keep asking you. You got it right? Even then it will say, congratulations, you got it right. Please enter the number, right? You got it that, even then it will keep on playing the game. No, we need to stop it. So this is one way to stop it. Okay, so I'm going to again paste it here. Okay, using a variable just to track the loop. Python says, okay, I mean, you don't have to create this loop only for me, this variable only for me. Okay, which is in a way we have managed it, but okay, if it were useful for some other thing, great. If it is not useful, why to create an extra variable? Say, okay, don't give me found. Directly you make it as true. See, we were saying found equal to 0, and then immediately next I'm checking found is it true or not. Immediately I assigned it to 0 and immediately I'm checking. So it says, okay, don't do that. Directly you say while true. While true is also called as entry controlled loop. While true, see, what we said was, okay, while should be true to run the loop. Directly you're saying while equal to true. Directly when you say while true, it becomes infinite loop. It goes on forever. It will go on forever. So this is also called as infinite loop or entry exit control, not entry control. Here it's like, you know, you're going for a movie theater and theater door is open while true. Everybody come in. So while going, you can go in, but now you can't come out if you don't have valid ticket, right? If you don't have a ticket, they'll charge you 10 times. That's also a good business model, right? Instead of checking for the cinema ticket in the entrance, don't check in the entrance. Let everybody go and watch the movie. And At the exit, you check the ticket. And if they don't have, charge them 10 times. Fine. That's what happens in the train, right? When you go get into a train, they don't check your ticket. You can go and sit anywhere. You can go and sit in, AC or, first AC anywhere. Nobody is going to stop you. But when TT comes and you don't have a ticket, twice the fine. This is what it means. Entry is free. Exit is controlled. You are controlling at the exit. When you board a metro train, that is exit entry control, because without ticket you can't get into metro station only. But normal train you can get board, but while getting out they'll check, okay, and they'll catch you. Okay, same the platform also you can go, but while coming out they'll check your platform ticket. Okay, so this is while true is like that. You can easily get into while true, okay, everything go in. But how do you come out? Okay, so to come out, we have a special command called break. Okay, so I'm instead of found equal to 1, you say break. Break is a command, special command that will end the loop. The moment you say break, loop ends. It is like a valid ticket. You show the ticket and you stop the loop. Loop will stop automatically. Then and there. You'll find it here. It will stop. So now when you run it, okay, I'll say 25. So it goes on. And when I say 35, it stops, right? Okay. Now let's add some feature to it. Okay, so we have built the skeleton, okay, basic structure. Let's add some feature to it, make it a little more interesting to play. Okay, so when you get it right, correct, let's count how many times you take to get it right. Okay, so I'm going to say here attempts equal to 0, and every time you guess the number, you are increasing the attempt by one. Attempt was 0, now it became 1. So every time you're guessing, you're making a new attempt, isn't it? New attempt. And here I'll say guessed it correctly. Okay, in so many attempts. Okay. So now when you run it, guess the number 35. You guessed it correctly. Oops, what happened? Why didn't it run? You guessed it correctly in 1 attempt, right? It should have printed. Let's run it again. Oh, I'm changing in P4. I'm running P2. See, I'm changing in P4 and running P2. Will it work? No, it will not work, right? So I'm going to do select Control X and paste it at P2. This is where our program is, not P4. So yeah, that's the one thing. You have to look at the correct file to run it. Okay. So guess the number. I say 35. Okay. You guess it correctly in 1 attempt. Right? So this is working. Now, when you don't guess it right, okay, let's give some helpful text saying that your guess is lower, so that we know, okay, our guess is lower, right? So that next time when you guess, you can guess a higher number, isn't it? So this else will break it in 2 parts again. When if number is more than the guess number, and when the number is less than the guess number. So here I will say elif more than 2 condition, elif, right? So we have if else. So I'm adding one more condition here. So I'm going to say elif guess is less than num. Now if guess is less than num, this is your guess number, right? So if guess is now less than the num, let's say number is 35, but you're guessing 20. So we should print and say incorrect. Your guess is lower. Think of a highest number. A higher number, right? Okay. Else by default is when guess is higher, right? So here we'll say incorrect, your guess is higher. Think of a lower number. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. Guess the number. I say 45. See, your guess is higher. Think of a lower number. A lower number 20. Your guess is lower. Think of a higher number. 25. Again, it says your guess is lower. Think of a higher number. 35. Perfect. You guessed it correctly in 4 attempts. Now, this program looks little good, right? Let's add one more feature to it. So here I'm saying guess the number between 1 and 100 only. Okay. I'm saying to guess the number between 1 and 100. So what if user guesses less than 1 or more than 100? We will not perform all this. Okay. Attempts also we will not count. Okay. So here what I'll do, I will say if guess is less than 1. That means you are saying 0, -1, -2, -100. Or guess is less than 1, right? Guess is less than 1. Or guess is greater than 100. You will say here, print invalid guess, try again. Okay, we don't want to do all this. If the number itself is invalid, then we don't have to increase the attempt. We don't have to check. So here we are using another command called continue. So this is the second command we are learning today, which works with your loops. First we said break. Break will break your loop. Okay, no more loop. That's the end of the loop. Continue, and you can use this break and continue in both while loop and for loop. Okay, it is not a feature only of while loop. You can use it in any loop. You can use it in while loop also and for loop also. Continue says stop. Go to the beginning of the loop. Okay, stop and go to the beginning of the loop. Stop, go to the beginning. Continue means don't go below, don't execute what is below. Simply go to the beginning. So this continue will take you to the beginning here. This continue will take you to the beginning. Clear, everyone? Did you understand the break and continue? So what happens is, now when I run this program, P2, and I'm saying -5, invalid, try again. See, it is not telling you incorrect guess. I'll say 109, invalid guess, try again. 35, it says you guessed it correctly in 1 attempt only. Why? Because invalid attempts were not counted. Invalid attempts were not counted and you guessed it correctly in 1 attempt only. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Now, let's make it really interesting. Instead of saying num equal to 35, I want computer to think of a number. Now, see, all this time, we knew the answer, right? And we were playing as if we didn't know. Now we will really not know. So there is a module called random. There's a module called random. What random does it generates a random number. Module random generates a random number. Okay. What is random number? Any number. So there's a, so when you say module, what is a module? Module is concept in Python where you put different functions in one file. So random is a random.py file is there. There's a file called random.py which is already installed when you install Python. It is there with you. Random.py. When you install Python, it got installed. It has a lot of functions. Those functions are called automatically. Okay, when you say import random, those functions are available. And I'm going to use one function called as random int. Num equal to random.randint. So random is the module name. Inside that, we have randint, a function. This function takes A and B value. A is the starting value and B is the ending value. So I'm saying think of an integer number between 1 and 100. Think of an integer number between 1 and 100. This is what it means. Random dot randint. Randint is a function which will randomly come up with a number between the range that you give. If I say 100 to 1000, it will think of a number between 100 to 1000. If you say 1, 100, it will think of a number between 1, 100, both inclusive. So that means it can think of 1 also, 100 also, both inclusive. Okay, both inclusive. So any number between 1 and 100, both inclusive. So 1 also can be, it can come here. Okay, great. So now let's play the game. We don't know exactly what number it is. Now I'm saying guess the number. I'll start with 50. Your guess is lower. That means number is more than 50. I'll say 80. Your guess is lower. The number is more than 80. Wow. 95. Let me see. Okay. So see, it says guess is higher. That means number is between 80 and 95. Let me say 88. Oh, your guess is higher. Think of a lower number. So it is between 80 and 85. I'll say 84. Think of a lower number. Okay, that means our 84 is higher. So it is either 81, 82, 83. 81, 82, 83. I'll say 82. Let's see what happens. Higher. Okay, answer is 81. Right? It took us 7 attempts to guess it. Isn't it interesting game? Okay. Now I said computer versus human because computer is thinking of a number and we are attempting. Now we'll modify the same program and we will make it computer versus computer. We don't want to do the hard work. We just want to see what they are doing. We'll make computer play against computer. Okay. So instead of saying guess equal to int of input, here also I will say guess equal to random int between 1 and 100. I'm saying, okay. So first computer will think of this number between 1 and 100. Now second computer will start guessing the same number. So let's run and see what happens. 45 attempts. 75 attempts. 28 attempts. Do you see a problem here? Why do you think it's taking so much of time? So much of attempt? Is there a problem here? Tell me. Do you see a problem here? Correct size. Size, right. Okay. So see, when we were playing, based on the lower value or a higher value, we know, oh, I said 25. 25 is lower. That means I have to think of a higher value. 26, 30, 100, 90, 80, right? I cannot think below less than 25. But here, since we are saying random number between 1 and 100, so even if your number is lower, still you are thinking of number. So possible that you are saying 25, okay? And next time, you say 25 and computer says your number is lower. Then again, you can think of 24, 25, because you're randomly thinking, isn't it? So we have to control this, right? So when you're doing for the first time, it should be 1 and 100. But second time onwards, it should not be 1 and 100. It should be based on the previous answer. So let's modify it. So I'm going to say start, comma, and equal to 1, 100. Right? And here we will place start and 100. So this your start and end will work fine. First attempt, 1 and 100. But second attempt, if your guess is lower, okay, if your guess is lower, that means your guess is 50. Okay, your guess is 50, and you say, oh, 50 is lower. Okay, that means think of a higher number. Do not think less than 50. So our start will become guess plus 1. So if 50 is lower, you should think from 51. That's why guess become, your start becomes guess plus 1. And similarly, when your number is higher, you should not think of a higher number. So end becomes guess minus 1. And now when you run it, you see 7 attempts, 8 attempts. It was like 40, 75, 28. Now 8 attempts, 10 attempts, okay, 5 attempts, right? 7 attempts. See, it is not going beyond 10. There we had 28 attempts. So did you see? This is how you can develop, or you can use your loop concept, your random concept, and make some games. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Any question, guys? Anything that you want to ask before we wrap up? So with this, we complete our while loop also. Tomorrow, we'll start with string. Okay. We have to complete string, list, tuple, dictionary sets. Once we do that, we have to finish off functions and class and objects. Okay. That's the target, to complete class and objects. After class and objects, okay, if you have anything, you can tell me, or we'll do some NumPy, Panda, some additional work to understand. But I want to cover till class and objects because that's the foundation of Python, basic of Python. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll take up additional topic and we will complete. Okay, how's the session, guys? Enjoyed? Are you learning? Especially those who are new to the programming, first time doing programming, new to Python. Okay, please practice. Okay, make use of this time. Okay, you are spending 1 hour of your day, which is again not small time. It's a good amount of time. Please learn, please practice. Okay, only way to learn Python is by doing practice. Okay, there's no shortcut. Okay, yes. Okay, guys, then we'll end it here. You enjoy your evening and do practice. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time, right? If there's change in plan, I'll let you know. Okay, tomorrow and day after, I might have some work, guys. Okay, so if there is change in plan, I'll let you know. Okay, if there's change in plan, I will let you know. We might have to cancel it 50-50%. Okay, we'll let you know in advance. Okay, and if we cancel for next 2 days, we will extend it. Okay, so the end day will extend by 2 more days. But right now it is 50-50. Okay, but by 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'll let you know. We'll let you know 2-3 hours before the time. Okay, I've got a couple of meetings which I'll try to wrap up in the morning session. If doesn't happen, then we'll have to move by 2 days. Okay, I will let you know. We will let you know. Okay, so take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow if possible. Yeah, bye everyone.